Wow, we just got back from physical therapy and it's here.
I'm so excited.
It's here, dear.
It's going to help so much.
Yep. Tiny House Prepper. Hey everybody, I'm Bill.
And I'm Elizabeth with Tiny House Prepper.
And I want to start this video by telling you a story. Before the recent stroke that Elizabeth had, TIA, we don't know what it is, but before she ended up in the hospital a couple of weeks ago, the last stroke that she had had was quite a few years ago. And she had recovered quite well from it. But what it did was it affected her, what's called her vestibular system, which has to do with her balance. And so she would occasionally have issues with her balance. And it would only happen when she got really tired. And she could actually walk quite well, but if she had to just stand, then she would start to lose her balance. She would get all pale and washed out and start to get weak. So, but it didn't really affect her much because she was able to just go and do the things she wanted to do. Well, last October, we went to Aruba. We had earned a trip with Thrive Life to Aruba, so we went to Aruba. On the way down in the airport and all that, it was no problem. But on the way back, when we were in Aruba, trying to leave and we had to go through customs, we had to stand for about an hour and a half. And that totally wiped her out. We were just standing in line, inching forward. It totally wiped her out until somebody who was a worker there at the airport came by and saw her and said, "I'm going to get you a wheelchair." And they called somebody, and somebody came down with a wheelchair. It was actually kind of nice because they took us right to the front of the line, saved us about an hour. But just standing totally wiped her out, and she couldn't do it anymore. She was about to collapse on the floor. And that was when she was doing well after several years of, rehab. So we are going to be doing some flying again this summer. In July, we're going once again to Salt Lake for the Thrive Convention. And then this year, once again, we have earned the trip with Thrive. And so this year, we are going to Panama for 5 days. So we're going to be doing several airport trips. And I'm really concerned about her, even if she has this little walker that she got, that she doesn't have any place to sit down. And I'm really concerned about her standing in long lines in the airport. Well, we think we found a solution.
Yep. One of our subscribers, her name is Colleen, actually got our phone number and called us and was explaining to Bill that she thought that something that she has really appreciated being able to use might be helpful to me. It's called a Rollator. Rollator, yep. And I know my mom has said something very similar to this. It's basically a nice walker with brakes, but it's got a seat on it. And the seat's nice because, if you're going along, you can all of a sudden sit down, and that's really helpful. And also you can pull the little thing up and it'll hold things like purses and stuff like that, which would be very convenient, especially in something like an airport.
Right.
So we thought it kind of sounded like a pretty good idea, actually. We appreciate that, by the way, Colleen. Hugely. Give you a shout out. Thank you. We looked into it, checked it out, thought about it for a while, and decided it would just free me to be able to go in airports, even being out at the convention center in the huge hotel there, going through the facility was making me a little bit nervous because I can, even if I'm walking really well again, sometimes there's nowhere for me to be able to rest if my head starts getting real wobbly. My balance starts getting really wobbly. So it sounded like a good idea.
So let's show it to you.
Yeah, we ordered one and it came.
Yep.
I'm so excited.
Considerably heavier than your other one.
Well, I think it probably kind of needs to be.
Yeah, well, the other one is a real light gauge aluminum. I think this is also aluminum, but it's much more heavy duty. This looks terrific.
Oh, I'm so excited. This is going to make all the difference in the world if we're like in an airport or in a mall, for crying out loud.
How's that working?
Oh, it's great. If I start to lose my balance, I can just put the brakes on and give myself a chance to get reoriented again, which is really nice. It feels very secure. And then if I just have to sit down, I can lock the brakes. Oh, yeah, that's really nice. That way, it makes you feel like that, you know, especially if we're on a little bit of a smoother surface. I'm not sure this is intended for dirt roads, but, you know, if we're inside somewhere, I feel like I can just go, because if I have to rest, I can. And it helps me maintain my balance. I don't want to not walk. I just need to walk safely. So I am thrilled with this. Colleen, thank you. Colleen's the one that gave me the idea, and wow, thank you so much. I absolutely love this thing, and it's gonna really make me feel a lot freer just to go places, because the issue was that if I really started losing my balance, there was nowhere I could really try to sit down until I could recover. So, yep, I like it.
Now this isn't meant to be a real wheelchair, but it is definitely an emergency wheelchair, and we'll show you how that works. Go ahead and do that.
And this is the sit down in a hurry mode. Just push the things in and it clicks in. And the foot thing.
Ready?
Just a second, I'm going to put these things down.
Oh, yeah, arms. Oh, you want that?
Yeah, the arms come up. It actually makes a regular, like, in a pinch wheelchair for...
So now I unlock it, and off we go. So I want to compare these two walkers side by side. This is the one that we got from when she left rehab, and it's much lighter. It's much easier to close up and transport. This one's kind of heavy to transport, but I'll be able to do that. But this one, if she wants to turn, the wheels don't turn, so she has to pick it up and turn it like this. This one, the wheels swivel, so if she wants to turn, she can just turn it, go wherever she wants to go. She might still use this one occasionally because it's lightweight and easy to use. This one is much more heavy duty, much more substantial, and of course, if she gets tired while she's walking, she can sit down and rest. It's really a much better built, much more versatile. Now here's the thing. This one that we got when we left rehab, insurance paid for most of this. This little thing right here cost $400. $400. Fortunately, the insurance paid for most of it. It only cost us $38, but $400. This one we did not get any insurance help on. We bought it online. Cost $175. Well worth it. Much better made, much more substantial, much more versatile. I think we got a good deal here. So there it is.
Yep.
The Rollator. Pretty cool. We're very excited because, you know, our ultimate goal is that just like before, she'll get to the point where she doesn't need a walker.
Absolutely.
But we know now that it's always there, and when we go into an airport where we expect her to stand for a long period of time, then she'll take it with her because it's a portable seat. And it will also, it's not a wheelchair, but it does have like an emergency wheelchair mode. Since it has 4 wheels, I can just push her if need be.
If we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's really going to be the answer for us.
Yeah, I want to be just being as active as ever. I want to be walking just like ever. But knowing that, you know, I can still walk. I'm the one walking. You know, it's not walking for me. But just knowing that if I really suddenly need to be able to sit down, that I can. All of a sudden, I mean, I'd rather do that than have to be in that little riding cart at Walmart. You know,
Yeah.
you know, and sometimes they're not available. and this way I can walk. And if I start getting like woo, having trouble balancing, then I can just sit down.
Yeah, we went into Walmart, or we were going to go into Walmart the other day,
Right,
and I
since-
ended up going just yesterday.
Yeah.
And I ended up going in by myself and leaving her in the car because they do have 4 Mart carts.
Yeah, those little things you can ride around. Yeah.
But it's a busy Walmart, and they have 4 of them, or even 6 of them. But very rarely can you actually find one available.
That's charged.
And then we knew that she wouldn't be able to do the walking, so she stayed in the car while I went in and got what we needed. Well, with this now, she can go in and walk with me because she can walk fairly well as long as she can keep her balance. But she gets tired fast, and that way then she can just sit down.
Right. So for now, I really need it because sometimes I just, all of a sudden, I'm just so tired I can't see straight, which is part of the recovery thing
Right.
going on. But I can always sit in that, and if I'm just too tired, then Bill can wheel me back out,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
But in the future, for times where I think I'm doing great, but I've got a lot of walking to do, someplace where it's kind of open, it's just knowing that I've got somewhere I can sit down makes me feel freer.
Right.
So we're excited. I'm thrilled with it. Seems very sturdy and
Yep.
yep.
So that's that's Elizabeth's new rollator.
It's my new toy.
And I will put a link down below of where you can see it online if you're interested. And because I know people are going to ask.
Yeah.
And once again, thank you, Colleen, for telling us about it. We had
Yes.
seen these before, but she called us and talked to us and gave us the link of where to find it. And it's a good deal.
Yeah,
So,
it worked out really well. All righty.
okay. Thank you very much for watching.
Yep.
And you be blessed. You have a great day. And we'll see you next time.
All right. Love you guys.
All right. Bye.